Hi everyone, Marcus here. Welcome to the channel, and today we are doing another unboxing video, and I'm quite excited to open this with you and share it with you because I've been wanting to get a pair. It was just released in the US, and as you can see here on my left, it's a Puma box. So without further ado, let's open it. So let's open this Puma box. And I know you have a hint which sneaker is this. This is the Clyde All Pro. This is actually the second shoe from the Clyde line. So the first one was the Clyde All Court, if I'm not mistaken, or the Clyde Court. I had that and it performed really well. Upon holding this and feeling it and giving it a test here in my floor, I would say that they fixed all the things that they needed to improve on the version 1, and they made it happen on this version 2, which is the Clyde All Pro. The upper of the Clyde All Pro features the Matrix Evo. That's what they're calling the upper material of the Clyde All Pro. Upon holding it, when you're touching it, you can feel that it's a woven fabric, and the woven fabric is kind of welded, heat welded or fused together. So the woven upper is actually made out of 3 kinds of fibers. There's the one that is made out of the carbon fiber. The carbon fiber, I think, is the one that strengthens the materials, especially on the high wear areas, especially around here on the lateral part, on the forefoot. When you're stopping on a dime or doing lateral cuts, this is the hardest part. At the same time, it's still very flexible. And what's nice about this upper is, although it is fused or heat welded, it is not so much. I mean, if it's heat welded or fused, they didn't do it too much or too drastic that when you're bending your foot, you will hear it crunch. So this one doesn't do that sound, but when you're doing this scratch, you will hear that it's fused or there's a plastic overlay on it. They made it in the right amount so that the fabric won't stretch, and it will be very durable for the entire sneaker and won't crunch if you're bending, or it won't feel too stiff at the same time. Now moving on to the midfoot part, which is the lacing system. It has a traditional lacing system. The thong is made out of foam back mesh, which is very comfortable, and it was really comfortable around the thong. And there's just one thing that worries me, but I hope it won't happen, is the lace holes, which are made out of those very thin fibers. But I hope that it won't rip apart. When you're really tightening the laces, or when you're really jumping, or when you're really pulling the laces when you're playing, I hope it won't get ripped. But I'm confident that Puma tested the fibers first as lace loops before selling it to the market. And as for the last lace loops, there's a different kind of material which is really heavily fused or heat welded, and there's a Matrix Evo text written on it on just the medial part of the sneaker, but the fusing around the ankle is present on the lateral and medial part of the sneaker, mainly because it will help out in ankle protection and support and lockdown of the sneaker. And as for the heel containment lockdown, it has a thick enough Achilles pillows to prevent heel slippage and give you enough ankle support. And as for the heel part of the sneaker, there's a suede material with the Puma logo at the back, and it's made out of real suede. The suede materials give enough contrast for the upper of the Clyde All Pro, given the materials on the forefoot to the heel part is mostly made out of futuristic technology. They added the suede to give a more premium touch to the sneaker. And one other thing that I like about the Matrix Evo upper material of the Clyde All Pro is it made the upper of the Clyde All Pro really thin, at the same time very lightweight. And comparing it to the Clyde All Court, the first one was mostly made out of leather material, which made the sneaker a little bit heavier. So they changed it up a bit here to give a more futuristic look to the sneaker, at the same time improving the performance of the upper, making it more lightweight, more durable, and more breathable materials for the Clyde All Pro. And using this new tech on the upper of the Clyde All Pro, I don't mind it at all. To me, I don't mind it at all. It still looks like the old school Clyde sneaker way back then. And now moving on to the cushion part of the Clyde All Pro, it has the full-length Pro foam, but at the heel part of the sneaker, they added an additional P-back foam for extra impact protection. That's the one big difference from the cushion of the Clyde All Pro compared to the Clyde All Court, which the Clyde All Court just had a full-length Pro foam. It was good enough. It's not too bouncy, it's not too mushy. It is very responsive, but I would like to have extra impact protection on the Clyde All Court, which they gave it here on the Clyde All Pro, given the heel has a P-back foam. So P-back foam is actually like Boost. It's actually very bouncy and it has a very good impact protection. And while I was trying this a while ago here on my floor, I was putting pressure around the heel and it was really compressing. So this one has a better impact protection compared to the first version of the Clyde All Court. And as for the forefoot cushion, I felt that the Pro foam in the forefoot is a little bit thicker compared to the Clyde Court, which has a thinner Pro foam in the forefoot area. So for overall cushion setup, they improve a lot here on the Clyde All Pro. Now let's move on to the outsole or traction of the sneaker. It features a checkerboard pattern in the forefoot part of the traction with this radial pattern around the ball of your foot for pivoting. And I would say as for the rubber material, it is thick, but at the same time, it flexes. Kind of reminds me like the Curry 8s, which has thicker rubber at the same time, very flexible. So I'm not too sure yet on how it will perform outdoors. But for indoor use, while I was testing it here, it was gripping really hard and there was a squeak to it. And as for the heel part pattern of the traction, it is widely spaced. At the same time, it is hard or thick, but at the same time very flexible. And there's some windows that you can see the P-back foam at the outsole of the Clyde All Pro so that the P-back foam will expand better when you're stepping on your heel to give you a better impact protection around the heel part of the sneaker. And as for the sizing of the Clyde All Pro, go true to your size. So if you have the first Clyde All Court, go half a size up because those run a little big and this one runs true to size. And for wide footers, go half a size up. As for the price of the Clyde All Pro, it is $130 US. Fortunately, it's still not yet here in the Philippines. I got mine over StockX, so I have to add $30 more for shipping, so not too bad. It's around 8,000 pesos, more or less, but if you can wait, I think Puma Philippines will bring it here in our shores eventually so that you can get this at retail. For my overall thoughts for the Clyde All Pro, the upper, I'm liking it so far. It's fused, it is very supportive in the forefoot to the heel. At the same time, it's not stiff. It has enough ventilation all throughout the sneaker and the looks of it is really, really nice. And they gave us a huge improvement on the cushion. Nice bounciness in the forefoot, very responsive in the forefoot, and a very nice impact protection around the heel. And I forgot to mention that they still retain the outrigger around the midfoot part for extra stability, and at the same time there's a plate in the midfoot for stability and torsional support, which I think is a good plus on this sneaker. Especially this is a very lightweight sneaker and the upper is really thin, so the stability and torsional plate will really help in terms of preventing injuries. And as for the traction, let's wait and see. So I really can't wait to play with these. Let me know your thoughts on the Clyde All Pro. Do you like them? I really like how they look. They look simple. You can rock them off court. At the same time, if they're as good as the first one and they improved here on the version 2, making it lightweight, better cushion, better ventilation, at the same time better tech on the sneaker. So let me know what your thoughts are. Hit me a comment down below. Thank you again for watching this video. This has been Marches once again. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.